The hymn featured in this video is We Three Kings of Orient Are, since this is the week in which the church holiday of Epiphany occurs. Both the lyrics and the hymn tune were written by John Henry Hopkins Jr. in 1857. The hymn tune is called Kings of Orient, and the meter is 8886 with refrain. The time signature is 6/8, which makes the hymn tune seem like a waltz-like melody. At the bottom of the printed hymn you'll see in the next part of the video, it reads, although Christians had begun by the 2nd century to speak to these visitors from Eastern countries as kings, perhaps because of passages like Psalm 72 verse 10 and Isaiah chapter 60 verse 3, it is more accurate to think of them as magi or astrologers and scholars of their day. The Gospel of Matthew is the only gospel that contains the wise men's story. It can be found in Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. Matthew states that the wise men were from the east. He is not specific about the country that the wise men were from. It was not important which country they were from, only the area of the world that they were from, to show that they were not Jewish. Legend has it that there were 3 wise men because of 3 gifts that were presented to Jesus. However, Matthew does not state for certain that there were only 3 wise men, and indeed, there could have been more than 3 wise men in their entourage, but only 3 of them presented the gifts. The first verse of the hymn refers to the wise men collectively. It speaks about the natural features of the countryside the wise men traveled through to get to Bethlehem and that they followed the star. The second verse of the hymn refers to the wise man who brought gold to Jesus. Gold was very valuable, and it was given to a king as a tribute. Jesus is not only King of the Jews, he is the King of Kings. The third verse of the hymn refers to the wise men who brought frankincense to Jesus. Frankincense was a symbol of holiness and righteousness, and was used as incense in the temple. It represents Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, as frankincense was burned with the sacrifices on the showbread altar in the temple. The fourth verse refers to the wise man who brought myrrh to Jesus. Myrrh was a bitter perfume used for medicine and anointing oil. Myrrh was offered to Jesus on the cross, and Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus wrapped Jesus' body in a mixture of myrrh and aloe after he was taken down from the cross. The fifth verse refers to Jesus' resurrection and the praise that rings out throughout the earth and skies. The refrain tells us of the beauty and the wonder of the star that led the wise men to Bethlehem to worship Jesus. The sung version of the hymn is next. Sing along if you feel led. And no, not the We Three Kings of Orient Are went to smoke a rubber cigar version. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I bring to crown him again, King forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Frankincense to offer have I, incense on the deity nigh, prayer and praising, gladly praising, worshipping God Most High. Ooh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty glorious to thy perfect light. Myrrh is mine, its bitter perfume breathes a life of gathering gloom. Soaring, sighing, bleeding, dying, sealed in the stone-cold tomb. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, restored leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and God and sacrifice. Alleluia, alleluia, sounds through the earth and skies. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, restored leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Thanks for stopping by tonight. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing. See you next time.